Hope Stella will started recording. So, like I said, I will not attend to anybody again. Any question you have, you keep it till after the presentation. We're going to look at project plan and scheduling this night. So, and I'll go straight and start sharing my screen. So we've captured work breakdown structure and project plan, done that. So meaning that a project can go on. So once this is done, you have to start. Once you have a project charter signed, authorizing the project to start officially, what are you waiting for again? The next thing you have to do is start planning for your project, planning how to execute the project. And the only way you can start planning how to execute the project is by, first of all, creating a project plan. So work breakdown structure is not a project plan. Work breakdown structure is a blueprint that will help you to create a project plan. And the project plan is a blueprint that will help you to implement the project. So you can see work breakdown structure. You have a building block, is your first building block, and then you have to build from, create project plan from your work breakdown structure, and that's what we plan to achieve tonight. So project plan is a roadmap for completing the project on time and within the budget. It uses the work breakdown structure as a foundation, a comprehensive document that outlines how the project will be executed, monitored, controlled, and closed. It includes details on scope, schedule, budget, quality, resources, communication, risk management, and stakeholder management plan. It focuses on how the work will be done. So it's a complete package, complete blueprint. So that's why if you get a project plan, fine, then you can now call yourself a project manager. If you don't know how to create a project plan, forget it. Don't even dare call yourself a project manager. So the importance, a well-structured project plan ensures clarity, resource management, risk mitigation, and set a foundation for tracking progress and managing changes. So, and that is project plan for you. You can see here, we almost captured everything here. It talks about the scope, the schedule, the budget, quality, resources. Everything is captured in project plan. So it's a one document that every project manager should have. But unfortunately, so many project managers we have today do not even know how to create a project plan, But that's not my business. My business is to teach you the best approach and best practice so that you don't be like them. So, key components of a project plan. A project plan must have a scope, defining the boundaries and deliverable. That is a scope. Every project plan must have a scope. Each phase of the project is a scope. There are things you need to achieve within every stage of the project. So you must have a scope, and it should include project objectives, key milestones and constraints, work breakdown structure. We've come across work breakdown structure. So because the project is being developed from the work breakdown, you must have a work breakdown structure. It's a hierarchy of the work that needs to be done. So the hierarchical decomposition of the total scope of work, then breaks the project into smaller manageable tasks. That's what we agree that work breakdown structure stands for. Breaking things down further, just like we said, from a layman's point of view or from a layman's language, we call it categories and subcategories. And I remember someone was saying we are not being technical, or are we using the right technical words? That she's not hearing automation. There's nothing like automation in project management. You know, when we talk about project management, there's keywords we need to hear, like from a project manager, project scope, work breakdown structure, project planning, risk planning, communication plan. These are the right technical words. You know, Gantt charts, stakeholder management, project tracking, project monitoring, project control, project life cycle. These are the kind of technical languages you should be hearing. You know, if all these things are not contained in your CV, it's important some of these things are contained in your CV, because we'll have what we call application tracking system. That's what most of these employers use to filter junk CVs. So they will use it if the software scan your CV and the software do not scan enough. All these terms are, the software will not be looking for automation, because in project management we are not automating anything. Only if the project itself is automation, like robotic process automation. That is a solution. We're implementing a solution. You can't call it a project terminology. That is a solution. So I want us to be clear about some of the things. So a project plan, these are the components of a project plan. Resource planning, identifying and allocation of resources, both human, financial, and material. Resource leveling to avoid overallocation. Risk management, identification of potential risk. Assessment of impacts and probability and mitigation. So this risk is equally contained in project plan, because in project plan there's what we call critical path areas, call it critical path analysis. So in project plan, every project plan should be able to help you to identify all the critical areas, critical parts that you don't need to play around with. So we are going to come to critical parts after this project planning and scheduling. So, and then risk mitigation. From there, you start mitigating your risk. So we have communication plan, define how information will be disseminated, establish communication channel and frequency. This one is already, most time we'll capture this within when we're doing stakeholder analysis. So it's part of the things we decide how overall communication with all the people involved in that project. So these are key components of a good project plan. And when we talk about project scheduling involves assigning the start date and finishing dates to every project task. Like we said, every project must have a beginning and an end. As the project is having a beginning and an end, that's why every task must have a beginning and an end. As a matter of fact, if you have 1 month for a project, that 1 month you need to break it down, making sure that every task, the time allocated to every task, by the time you sum up all the time for your various tasks, it needs to correspond to the timeline, which is 1 month. So it's very, very important. As you are creating no task, you can't say maybe. I've seen people in projects, they'll say, maybe we are going to do it. We'll do it highest 2 or 3 days. There's nothing like 2 or 3 days. You must be specific. We'll talk about SMART, using SMART in our requirement. Everything you need to say or do or capture, you must be specific. You know, if you are planning for financial resources, after planning, maybe if they've given you a blank check to go and plan and bring the project budget, you must come with a specific budget. If it's £10,000, you say you can't say I think 10 to 15,000 pounds. You are not a good project manager if you start sounding like that, because it means you've not done a thorough job. You don't know what you are talking about. We are not certain. So in terms of resource project scheduling, we need to be certain about the time. Every task here must be timely. So you see, ensure timely completion, helps in tracking progress and identify any variation from our plan. So we must be specific. If there is a variation, a project manager must give an account why there is variation in your plan. So let's look at key steps in project scheduling. Define activities, identify and list all tasks required to be completed in the project. If you check out the work breakdown structure I provided with you, when we created the project into phases, we identify all the tasks within the phases. I remember someone saying that it's too much. When we are talking about our various documents we need, see there is too much document, but I say we don't even have enough documentation with what we captured. It's not enough. So, but the point here is that you need to list all the tasks to be completed within that project. Use the work breakdown structure for detailed breakdown. So I know you can do this one at this point. Sequence activities. Determine dependencies between tasks. Dependencies are relationship. We have a relationship like a situation where some tasks need to finish before others have to start. It means that some tasks are depending on others. They cannot start until their predecessors or finish. So that is the way it works. So these are what we call dependencies. So we need to determine the dependencies and use technical techniques like network diagram. You can use about when we are using projects plan, the Gantt charts and everything will help you to do that. So the project planning softwares help you to do a lot of things, which we are going to see very soon. Then estimate activity duration. Every activity must be estimated. You must allocate duration, the start and the end date. Determine how long each task will take. Consider factors such as resource availability, and task complexity. So when you are trying to estimate how long it's going to take, you need to make sure that you understand the complexity of every task. Some of these tasks, before you assign the time, you are a project manager. For instance, you are a project manager and you are not a business analyst. You are a project manager, you are not a developer. So during project planning, if you have some of these key team members, involve them, because so many of them, they are professional in their area. They have professional knowledge on how long it's going to take to complete a task. Agree with them. Only if you have experience, maybe you have done that before, you know how long it can be, because so many project managers have been business analysts before. Some of them have experience of a developer. So only if you have that kind of experience. But you don't have that kind of experience, you need to consult all the relevant team members while trying to plan their resource, their activities or their tasks to assign duration. Because you can assign a duration that is not realistic. So that's what I mean by consider during the this complexity. It is not your duty to determine the complexity as a project manager. You must consult people that are really doing their job to know how complex it is for them to do the job and help you know the time estimate. So these are some of the things you need to do with them. Develop the schedule. Use tools like Gantt chart, critical path method, and program evaluation and review techniques. Determine the critical paths to identify the longest path of dependent and activities and earliest possible completion date. Like I said, after project plan, this is our project plan and scheduling, we are going to be talking about critical path method, because it's very, very important for us to understand the critical paths. Critical paths are areas that are very critical. If anything, these are where the risk lies. If any mistake, we miss any step within this critical path area, it might lead us to overshooting our timeline and overshooting our budget. And it's not good for us as project managers. So, but we'll talk about that when we are done with our project plan. Let's set the project plan and then we'll start identifying the critical path areas. It'll be easier for us to understand it that way, because if we start talking about critical path and we don't know how project plan look like, it's going to be difficult. So allocate resources, assign resource to tasks, adjust the schedule to address any resource constraints. Constraints here, like you find out at times we have resource shortage and like we don't have enough human power, human resources. We have to assign resources to every task, within our project plan, to make sure we understand the amount of resources we have and then do necessary adjustments within our resources. It's very, very important. We are going to see all these things very soon when we start doing a practical, which is part of what we plan to do this night. Then, these are key steps when we are trying to schedule the project activities. And then we cannot do all these things, although we've not gotten to the stage where we need to look at all the tools. But at this point, like I said, we'll have to start looking at some tools like We already talked about Freecamp, you know, but we're still going to talk about them when we go to the tools, essential tools in project management. But we can't really understand this project planning without talking about the tools we are going to use. So that's why we'll capture some of the tools we are going to use, because we need to do it practical now. So we have project plan and scheduling tools such as Microsoft Project. It's a software from Microsoft where we use it to plan our projects. It has been the major player in the industry. It's paid software, so if we need to have it, you need to pay for it. But if you're working for organization, they need to get the license for you to use. You know, I don't know about freelancing. So many freelancers, you have to pay for your project management softwares. So a project, Microsoft Project is a comprehensive project management software developed by Microsoft. It offers a range of features for project planning, scheduling, resource management, and reporting. So the features here will have Gantt charts, visualize project scheduling tasks and dependencies. We'll have resource management that help you to allocate resources, track resource availability, and manage resource assignments. We have task tracking that helps you to monitor task progress, update task status, and track project milestones. We have reporting and analytics that help you to generate reports, dashboard, and analytics to assess project performance and identify the project trend. And we have integration. This can be integrated with so many other Microsoft applications like Office 365, such as Excel, Outlook, and Team. And this is how it looks like. If you don't know, if you see it, it will look like an Excel document. Yeah, that's how it looks like. As a matter of fact, Microsoft developed this application from Excel. You know, so this is how it's going to look. We have a Gantt chart, but we are not going to use it because it's paid. And I don't know if some of you can squeeze up to £400 or to pay for it. I don't know. But I know we have a lot of rich people here. But I still know that we have some people that are just starting life. So, and that's why I'm always looking for free resources that we are not going to pay anything and get the full value for everything we are doing here. So, and that's why I'm taking us to another project planning software called Project Labor. Project Labor is an open source project management software that offers similar features to Microsoft Project, but is available for free. And when we say free, is free, no hidden charges, it's completely free. Like we say, it's an open source. It is compatible with Windows, Mac OS, and the Linux operating system. It's a good application, you know, very, very good. So I've been using it for teaching and doing all that. It's very, very good. So it gives you everything Microsoft will give you, everything. It's just like if you have used Google Doc. Google Doc gives you everything Microsoft Word gives you, and it's completely free. Google Sheet gives you everything Microsoft Excel gives you, and is 100% free. Google Slide gives you 100% everything PowerPoint gives you, and is 100% free. Draw.io gives you 100% everything Visio, Microsoft Visio gives you an 100% free. These are the key softwares in the industry that can help you do a great job as a project manager, business analyst, and we have free versions. So you have no limitation. Those days that were starting, like, you know, when I was in University of Westminster, we were doing all those, it's difficult because some of these free applications, so everything you have to pay, you know, and it wasn't funny. You have to pay for every little thing you learn, you pay for it. But today, well, we have a lot of things. Well, you can learn, resources are free, everything free. So, and it's good for us who really want to learn. So let's look at features of this Project Labor. We have Gantt chart view, visualize project schedule and task dependencies, resource management, manage projects, research and assignment. We have task tracking, monitor task progress, update status, and update test status, reporting, generate basic report and export report data. Is it not everything I listed in Microsoft? It's everything. So I don't see why we should. And to be honest with you, millions of companies are using it, and it's saving them a lot of costs. A lot of startup companies, this is what they are using. Most startups, they save money. They want any way to save money, and this is what they use, and they are saving a lot of money for the company, you know. And a lot of freelancers. Very soon you will start working as a freelancer. Most of these freelancers, some of the companies, they will not pay for your this thing. Everything they pay you is up to you to take care of yourself. They are not going to be buying licenses for you. And in a situation like this, if you know how to use some of all this, yeah, you save a lot of money. So the cocoa now is for us to look at how do we use these softwares, because we've been talking so much. So it's time for action, you know. So I've made links available for this Project Labor. This is their website where you can go. Sorry, this Project Labor, you have to download it on your laptop. It's not like Draw.io that you can do their work online and export your work. This, you need to download it in your system and start using it from your system. So this is how the Project Labor looks like. Some of you must have seen it. If you are seeing it for the first time, this is how it looks like. Project Labor, this is a screenshot of a Project Labor. And if you go up and look at Microsoft, you see this is Microsoft projects. You see nothing, they are not different, the same. These happy developers, they just cloned Microsoft's project and made it free for everybody. And thanks to them, because it's saving us a lot of money. So now we've done that, we need to go to Project Labor to get this software we are going to use to plan our project. And you come over here in your browser, you type Project Labor, and it will show you all these things. Project Labor, or you can copy the link, just projectlabor.com, and you see it. This is their website. Project Labor, number one alternative to Microsoft project, and it's open source. And when they say number one alternative, they are not hyping, is number one alternative. So you choose to download. Let's open the website. And once it's open, this is the way it's going to look. You are going to see Project Labor. This is how it's going to look. And you see Project Labor. How many downloads? This has been downloaded 7 million times. Yeah. So, and within 193 countries around the world are using Project Labor. So that's it. So how do you download it? We'll see download button here. If you click on this download button, it's going to take you to another website called SourceForge. If you click on it here, you see SourceForge. If you click it and it moves you away from Project Labor's this thing, don't worry. You know, it's still the same thing. So this is where you are going to download this application. I already have this application in my system. So you come over here. This is it. You click on this to download it. It's where you click. You click download. You see here, it said your download will start shortly. You see here, it starts. If you come over here, you see that it started downloading. I already have it in my system, but once it downloaded again, I will delete it because I don't need it again. I don't need two installers in my system. So this is it where it's downloading. And once it finishes downloading, all you need to do is double click it and you should follow the instruction. And it's not difficult. Install it in your system for you to start using it. So very simple. So that is how to download this software we are going to use. If you want to be a project manager, you must get it downloaded. Start playing around with it, you know, for you to understand it more. The tricks to this application is to get it and play around. Play around. Everything we do is project. Even if we are cooking, if you want to prepare a fried rice, is a project. You can call it a project and break everything down into using a breakdown structure, how to cook a jollof rice. You know, cooking a jollof rice or fried rice for your husband's birthday is a big project. You can use that, you know, do it and play around. So good. Now I feel everybody have downloaded it, and there's other videos which you can watch as well. If you feel the one I'm going to teach this night is not suitable or is not enough, you have here, if you come here, you see Project Labor tutorials. So, well, and you see it again. If you come again, you see all these Project Labor, a lot of tutorials on YouTube on how to use this Project Labor. So, I'm just saying for the sake of saying, but we are going to do it. Don't worry. So let's dive in and pull our own Project Labor and we'll start working with that. So Okay, because this project labor is on is a desktop application, is not on my browser. If I'm using, like now I've opened it, but I know you are not going to see it because the window I'm sharing is from the browser. So I need to stop sharing in order to share my project labor. So that's what I'm going to do. So, are you seeing the project labor? Are you seeing it?
No, no.
No, sir.
Okay, so you can't, I'm not sure you can't see it. So I need to share it. You can start seeing it. Can you see the project labor now?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So once you download it, this is what you are going to see. There is a dialog box. The first dialog box, all you need to do is close the first dialog box, and you see another dialog box. You see this small box. So if you have a project you are working on, the project plan you are working on, you can open it and start working on that previous project. But if you are starting from the scratch, you don't have any existing project, all you need to do is create a new project from here. You click here, you can create a new project. So, and even if I close it from here, I can equally come here. You see this small button here, new. You click on it, you can create a new project from here as well. So, but let's use the first one here, using this small dialog box to create our first new project plan. I'll click on it. Then you have to type the project name and then the project manager and then the start date. So the project name I'm going to use, we have Miara expansion project. You know, and the project manager is going to be Star Charles. And the start date, we can say now, we can give any start date you want. If you want any notes, you can put any notes here. So, and then you say okay, and it will open the window for you to start planning your project. I'll click OK, and see the window has opened this window. for me to start planning my project. And yeah, so now this is how the project labor is going to look like when you want to start planning a project. So, and you see here is where, please be, if you're not on mute, try to get yourself muted. So this is the task list, all the tasks. This is where you capture the work breakdown structure from here. Then this is where you start assigning the duration. This is the duration. I'll open this for you to see other columns. So duration is here, the start date and the finishing date of every task. You need to capture it. Then we have predecessors here, where you will plan for dependencies. We'll talk about dependencies. This is where you plan your dependencies, which will help you to come to critical path area. And then here, when you start assigning resources, we know what resources is. This is resources. Resources are people like staff that are going to work on the project. We have financial resources, and we have human resources as well. So this is where the resources will be coming in. So that is the body. If you assign resources, we will show from here. So that's it. And the first thing we need to do here is to start getting the project tasks and get them here. And then to do this, we can use this. What we are seeing here is what we call Gantt chart. So now this is the window we are seeing here now, Gantt chart. And within the Gantt chart, by the time we start building or planning this project, if you click here, you can see the breakdown structure. If you click on now, you are not going to see anything. It's blank. You don't have any work breakdown structure. But the moment you start planning, you start seeing all this. If you click, you see task usage. Everything is blank because we've not made any inputs. And resources, under resources, click here. Then you start seeing resources. We've not done anything. And from here, you can see the resource breakdown structure. That is RBS, call it resource breakdown structure and resource usage. If you want to start putting resources, you click on here. You can see everything is empty, nothing here, because we've not captured anything here. And then when we click on this view will help us to view the report. With that, we can see the project within a histogram. We can see the project within all these. Can start seeing them, resources here, all these. But for now, project report, you can see all these things. But for now, we can't see all these things because you see even the project report here is empty because nothing is going on yet. So, and that is what will go back to Gantt charts. So now let's get started and start bringing data into this project plan. Like I said, we are going to use our work breakdown structure as a foundation to build this project plan. So the work breakdown structure I shared with you, that's where I will go to start bringing information for this project plan. So, so the first thing here is initiate stage. So we can comfortably come down here and say initiate. Initiate. And then we'll have all the information under initiate. Come down here, grab some of this information here. And bring it in here. So you can see I've imported this information here. This is from my work breakdown structure into this place. And once you, so if you want to open up spaces, you see the way I'm doing this, you highlight on this, you just drag it, you can drag it up and down. So if you are wondering what I'm doing, it's very flexible. So, and here you can open up space. You see here. So now you see all these things. It's difficult to say which one is the project phase. So all I need to do is all these ones highlight. So I want to make this one on top the main category or the main project phase. So I've highlighted all the activities under it. And then I come to here, you see this particular button called indent. I can use this indent to do that. If I want to outdo it, I'll use outdent. So let's click on indent and see. So now I've indented it. You see is now the sub. You see here is now the main category, and other activities here becomes subcategories. So these are the projects, one of the project phase in the, when we talk about the project life cycle, this is the first phase, initiate phase. And these are activities under the initiate phase. And this is captured. By default, when you create activity in project labor, automatically the system will assign 1 day to every activity. So it's left for you to put your own date. By the time you are putting your start date and end date, it will change. You can just add number of days you want for each activity, and it will change from here. And again, looking at this is what we call the Gantt chart. This is the Gantt chart here. You see that as we are building this, the Gantt chart is already showing. You can see the Gantt chart here is showing. So let's quickly capture another stage here. And you can see define stage. Define stage. You can call it planning as well. Please put yourself on mute if this is coming from you. Chidera Ugu, you are disturbing the class. Okay. I will go and grab all the activities under this. You are not seeing my work breakdown structure, but you should, if you put your own open, you should see that I'm grabbing from what you equally have in your own system. So we're using the same document. So copy it. I'll come back to my project Libre, and I will Control V it, and you see we have, but you see everything, we need to indent it to make this have a heading. So in order to highlight, I will press Control button and I'll be able to highlight. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pressing my Control button, and after highlighting, I'll go to indent and indent them. You see, something didn't go well, so I'll have to redo it.
So you are clicking on insert instead of indent. That's what's happening.
Sorry, pardon me. I'm just, what's your name again? What's your name?
Karimot.
Thank you. It means that some people are following, can correct me, because we all are human. So, and yeah, this is what I'm inserting instead of indenting. Yeah, that's what happened. So I'll indent, and then we'll have two stages now. So, we have to work with these stages. When you are going to plan your own, you need to capture all these stages. I'm doing it because of time. Okay, now we have to start assigning duration for every task. For the purpose of this lecture, let me see, we just assign 2 days to all the tasks here. So I'll just say 2 days, 2 days, 2 days, and 2 days, 2 days, and 2 days. All the activities I'm just assigning 2 days. When we are, yeah,
you still define role and responsibility.
Which this good. Yeah. So we have to 2 days. So you see, as we are signing 2 days, the Gantt chart is expanding, and we can see here everything is within the same day here. So now what we need to do is to create a dependency for every of these activities. You know, we have under this is starting on this day. And what we need to do here is that this project brief need to finish before we start this project charter.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so we see the project brief here. This is it here. That is the first activity. Then the second activity here will be depending on the project brief. So what we need to do is, what is the dependency? Which one is project charter is dependent on? Activity 2. So and here we need to add activity 2. So that is the predecessor. You see it? You see here, this Gantt chart, you see it has connected here. So if we want to connect everything like that, we can even click on this and drag it to this. You see the way I did it? You see, you have automatically added 3 now. The third, it means that the first one need to finish, and then the project brief need to finish before we start project charter. And project charter finish, we start assembling the project team. So that is what we are going to do here. And here, I will click on this and on this, and you see the Gantt chart is, and on this, so you see, that is it. You see this is what we call Gantt chart. This is the Gantt chart here. And you see these are the predecessors here. That's the predecessors. And then when these finish, initial requirement gathering, when we finish that, we can then start market research. So this is what we call, we are using waterfall approach in this method, so that you see the way, when we talk about waterfall, you see the way it's flowing like water here. And to continue here, to start this one, this particular market research, which is number 9, we need to finish number 7. So here we'll come and say number 7, and you see it here, that's connected, and then this is number 9. We'll put number 9 here. So number 9 needs to finish before number 10 starts. you see number 9, and then number 11, you see before this one, you see before we start number 11, we need to finish number 10. We add number 10, and then 11, 12, 13. Please, somebody, Mr. Ike Chukwueze, you are disturbing the class. And here, $14, $15, $16. So now you can see we've created our dependencies. So you see that what we call dependencies. So
Sorry, Mr. Chuck, you jumped from number 7 to number 9. I didn't understand how it happened.
number 7 to 9. This is not a task, this is a stage. Number 7 to number 9, number 8 is not a task. Number 1 is not a task, it's a stage. Are you getting it?
Okay, sir. I get it now.
So this is a stage. So this is the first task under the stage. What we are planning is tasks, not stages. That's why we indented it, to show that this is a stage. This is a big category. This is a big work. And what we are planning is activities under the stages, not the stages itself. So we can't assign a task. We can't assign anything under this. So you see that all the activities in this, all the tasks you can see here, all the activities will have 2 days, every activities. And when we sum it up, we come here, you see 28 days under this stage. Are you getting it?
Sorry, Mr. Charles, it's talking about 7, no number 8.
Exactly.
No number
Jump
8.
7 to 9, yes.
That's the numbering there.
That's
The,
what
on the
it
number
is.
8 is not
Talking
a
about the
task.
predecessor.
Number 8 here is not number 8.
There's no number 8.
Not a task.
You are not getting it. Number 8 is not a task.
No, sir, the presidential, check the numbering there. 7,
No.
9, 10.
Mm-hmm.
That's
This is
what he's
6,
saying.
7,
There is no
8.
number 8, as in number
That
8
is
is
what
not a
it
task.
is.
Just like
There is-
number 1. There is no number 1 there because number 1 is not a task. So number 8 invariably is not equally a task.
Are you getting it now?
Number 8 is defined planning. It is
No,
8.
nothing is happening. No activity on number 8.
Number two has activity, but it's not numbered.
Number 2 have activity.
Yes.
How?
After initiate, which is number 1, the second one.
This is number 2.
That's the
Number
first
2.
activity.
No, okay, wait. Number 2
Is the
is
first time.
Number 2 is the first activity.
Yes.
Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
That's why if you look at number 2, it has no predecessor.
Okay.
Is there any
Yes,
predecessor
yes,
before
never
number
follow.
2?
No,
No.
sir.
Good. Okay, let's look at number 3. Is there any predecessor for number 3, which is project charter.
Yes.
That
Yes.
is number 2.
Yes.
You put the predecessor. I can come here and put project brief. So this is project brief, means that project brief need to finish before we start project charter. And this is, we look at here, the column say predecessors. So what you'll be adding on is every tax, you add predecessor to that tax. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. But the take care is like number 1. There's no number 1. You got number 2. There's no number. You jump from number 6 to number 7 because after number 6 there's no tax. You now jump to 7. From number 7 to number 9. Why is there no number 8? That's what is confusing.
That is what is explaining to you.
Please allow Mr. Charles to talk to us, please. I know you know it.
Number 8. What is this number 8?
See, Mr. Vincent, you are disturbing the class. If you don't want to listen, you should just leave the class. You are disturbing us here. You keep asking the same question. We try to explain. You don't want to listen.
It's okay. Let me use everybody's level of understanding is not
exactly. It's different.
So, okay. Are you looking at my cursor? I'm pointing at number 8.
Yes, sir.
Is number 8? What is it called? Define.
Define planning.
Define stroke planning. So you mean define stage or planning? You can call it planning. So this define is not activity, it's a phase. And what we are planning is activities. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
So that is why we have to jump number 8, because it's not an activity, it's a plan, it's a phase. So now what we are looking at, what are we going to do? Which one do we need to finish before we start market research? Somebody should answer the question. What do we need to do before we start market research? We need to finish an activity before we start market research.
Initial gathering.
So which one are we? That's why we okay, and it is number 7. So that is why we put number 7 here instead of number 8. Are you getting it now?
Yes,
the
sir.
person that asked question, I'm asking
Yes,
you, are you getting
Yes,
it?
sir. Yes, sir.
Are you clear now? Can I move on?
Yes, sir.
Move on. Thank you so much.
No worries.
Proceed, sir.
No worries. Okay, that is it. We have
Yes, sir.
I've heard you. Let's move on. So now that's why we have to we've captured all our activities, we captured our phases. That we call project life cycle phases of every. We've captured 2 phases now. Like I said, execute stage and closure stage. I'm not going to capture it because of time, but I know if you understand this, you can do it. So now we've captured the duration, the start date, and the finishing date. We've captured the predecessors, and then the next thing we need to capture is the resources. The resources here, you see the resources here is vacant. You see that is, if I open it, you can see that is only thing that is remaining here. So we need to add resources, and to do that, we'll go to the resources. You see what we are planning is tax, and you can see is on the tax here. You see tax. So now we need to move to resources to plan our resources. We click on resources, and now we're on resources. We go to resources here. This is where we have to start planning our resources. We need to plan resources separately before we can start assigning resources. So I click on it, you see So let's capture resources we have, and looking at what we have here, we have between, we have BAs and PM. That's the resources we have here. We have BA, we have PM. So now the resource name here, we say PM, project manager. Another one here is called BA, and that's business analyst. So now I'm not going to start capturing the email and all these things. So all I need to say, I've captured the resources here, and I'll come over here to capture the rate. How much do we pay our resources per hour? Here you can see per hour, and here we have to see how much are we going to pay project managers. We can say, okay, here let's pay project managers let's pay project managers $15, and then let's pay BAs $13 per hour. So that is our resources. We've captured our resources, and you see here, if you want to capture overtime, if you are doing overtime, you can come here and put overtime. You know how much you are paying per overtime. But for now, let's leave it. We are not paying overtime. But if you are going to be using overtime, you need to do that. So now we've captured resources here, and the type of resources is important, you know, because we have different types of resources. We have work, but let's look at other resources available here. You see, we have material resources and work. So we are not capturing material resources. We're only capturing work. Material resources, like, materials, we are using materials like, for instance, we are in construction industry, we have cement or this and that, or, but what we are doing here is that we are capturing work resources. So, and we have project managers and BA. So with this captured, if we go back to our tasks, we should be able to assign resources to our tasks. So, and then we see maximum unit is 100%. We are using all of them 100% for now. So let's go back to our tasks. We click tasks, we go back here. This is a Gantt chart. For the window to come out, when you click on tasks, you need to click on this Gantt chart. And then we click on Gantt chart. You see here, the Gantt chart is out again. So now, if any of us are opening if you have your work breakdown structure that I shared with you, if you have it open in your laptop, I want you to, let's say, resources here. If we click from here, we can click and say assign resources. Yeah, that's what we need to do. Assign resources. So, can somebody tell me who is in charge of receiving project brief?
The project manager.
The project manager or the sponsor.
The sponsor.
The sponsor
Sponsor.
or the
Is that what you are you guessing? Are you telling me what we have in our said somebody from our work breakdown structure?
Is the project manager.
What are you telling me, sponsor? Is that what I
Is the project manager, sir?
Is the project manager that
Okay.
Project manager.
no,
Okay.
it's project manager that do the document, then who received it?
What do we have in our work breakdown structure that I shared with you? Is that what I said?
yes, we have project management or project manager.
That is what I asked. Then we have project charter. Can anybody say it again? Project charter.
The project manager.
Project manager, sir.
Okay.
We still the same project manager.
Okay, then we'll have assemble project team stroke induction.
Project manager.
Good.
Project manager.
Assign. And then we'll have define roles and responsibilities.
Project manager.
Project manager.
Okay. And then we'll have identify stakeholders and their expectation.
Project manager.
Project manager.
Business analyst.
Okay. And then we have initial requirement gathering.
Project
manager.
Is that what we have?
Business analyst.
Business analyst. Not
Initial
project
requirement that we are talking about.
Initial requirements guide.
Then we'll have market research.
That is business analyst.
That is how it is.
Project
Market research is business analyst.
Competitor analysis.
Business
Yes.
Business analyst. Project manager.
Okay, the noise is you can do the rest. Thank you, guys. Please you can put yourself on mute to reduce the level of noise.
Okay. 1 minute. Yeah, we can see it.
Please, put yourself on mute so that the video. Somebody already complained that the video is not clear, so we don't want to hear that the audio is not clear, and this is not. So it's BA. So like you see, I made a mistake here. I choose PM instead of BA. And I have to correct it. All you need is highlight, you remove, and then reassign the right one. And that's what I've done. And then competitor analysis, here I made a mistake as well. So I have to remove it. Okay, market strategy development. PM. Risk management. Okay. It stops at this particular stage, stopped at risk management. So we capture some of the execution, which is platform localization. These are part of the execution. So we need to
And we can right click and insert.
right. Okay. So you can see now we've managed to add resources to all the activities here. So in every activity, we know who is doing what, and looking at it, we can see here in our Gantt chart as well. You can see here, yeah, every of them here you see. So looking at the Gantt chart, you see all of them as it flows. So yeah. So now we've created we've scheduled all our activities, added duration, start time, finishing time, predecessors, resources. Then we can look at our reports. can look at our reports to see how it's looking like. And we come over here, we can say, okay, let's look at this tax usage. You can click on this. We've not started doing anything, so you can't see tax, but you look at histogram, you look at charts. So here you can start viewing reports, various reports, and see here work, and you see the cost. From scrolling now, you see the costing, and if you want to see more, let's look at the reports here, the project reports here. You see here, you look at these reports here, you can, this is our report. So once we start working, closing, we start seeing something will start happening. But this is where we can mirror some of the reports we can generate if you're having a meeting when the project starts. You know, what we've done, what we can see here. There is nothing done yet. Nothing we have not started doing. But once we started working, you can, like, if you're going to have a weekly report, monthly report of this project, you can see it from here. And then we have, let's go back to our task here. And see, let's look at the work breakdown structure here. You see, now we can see our work breakdown structure here. You see, and so you see this has given us the work breakdown structure here. And you see that this work breakdown structure is telling us, from the work breakdown structure, is telling us that after, you see here, if you can visualize the one we created using Visio, is somehow looking like this one, that this software generated this from us. You know, so you see it here, and the predecessor here is showing you that after initiate stage, we can start define stage. You see the arrow here. This is what the work breakdown structure is showing us. And under define stage, these are all the things we can do under each stage. And this is what we can do under initiate stage. And now it's telling us the cost of implementing initiate stage. You see the cost here. It's showing us $2,512. That is what is going to take us to implement initiate stage. And every task, this is it, the cost of performing every task. You see, to receive project brief is going to cost us $240. To produce a project charter, $240, everything $240. And the initial requirement gathering, $208. And if you come down, because you see, this is the cost of project managers. Project managers is now, you see what the project managers earn per activity, and this is what business analysts earn per activity. So you know, it helps you to do the project costing as well. Once you put it, you see the reports here. You know, you can visualize your reports in this work breakdown structure. And then let's look at tax usage here. You see tax usage. You see it here is showing the number of work, duration, is captured here, and that is it. That is tax usage. We show you everything now. And please, we're in a classroom. We're not, in as much as we're working, we are joining from home. There's some level of decency we expect from everybody. You know? So, now let's view our resources. We can go to resource breakdown structure and see. Now, if you look at our resource breakdown structure, you can see the budget for project manager, and you can see the budget for business analyst. So with this budget, if you don't have a business analyst, which you are planning to hire, you already know how much it's going to cost you to hire a business analyst per each stage, what you are going to pay business analysts. So for now, this is what is shown here, how much they are going to be paid to BAs. So this will equally helping you for your costing. That's why project plan is very, very intensive. And we'll talk about resource usage, and yeah, so basically that is it. We've captured everything we plan to capture today, and yeah. So if you have questions, try to make it available. So let me put lights in my room.
Hello, good evening, and thank you. I have just a simple question to ask.
We know how to ask questions. We don't just start asking questions. If your hands is not up, you shouldn't. We don't. So until I ask you, so I say prepare a question till I call your name. Okay. Okay, Mr. Obonna. Let me stop sharing this. Okay, Mr. Obonna, we can have you now.
Okay, yeah, good evening, Mr. Charles. So, on the costing, sorry, the costing that we saw on the work breakdown, is it just an estimated costing, or are we gonna make use of it? Is it just a guide?
You see my own costing, I captured it in dollars, so it's a guide. I captured it in dollars. So we have to find out what we are going to pay project managers and business analysts and capture it. You know, so that is what we say. It's a guide. So the only difference there is I just quoted cost from my head. When you people are going to plan your project, you have to make it more realistic. But I've shown you how to capture a cost. That's the main important thing. You don't know, you are not going to say you don't know how to capture a costing or resource plan for your resources using a project plan. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's okay, sir.
Okay, we'll have Sydney. Okay, Sydney is not here or is not. Let's move to Joy Ekemeze. Joy is not here as well. Let's move to Selimat Oyelami.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
Okay, Selimat.
Joy is here.
We've moved on.
Sir, when before we start working on Project Labor, you talked about resources allocation, in which you told us that resources could be human, material, and financial. But when we got to Project Labor, it's only the human resources that was captured. Does it mean that it's only because it is human beings that are taking?
Didn't you people when I see material resources? Material, didn't see material.
I saw the column, but nothing was imputed.
How? When we're putting resources, we see column. When we're assigning, you select resources.
Yes.
So what are you talking about?
So what I'm saying is that under the material resources, nothing was imputed. Does it mean that
because we didn't have any material resources we're capturing? Okay, if I have material, like I would have added like a bag of cement. But we are talking about human resources. We are not capturing material resources. I'm not planning for maybe construction or what they call it, other industry. This is IT. The only resources we are capturing here is human resources. The people we do, we are capturing resources. Are we going to capture cement? Where are we going to use cement in all the activities we captured here?
We don't need cement.
Do we need a bag of sand?
Not at all, sir.
Do we need a log of wood?
No.
So why should we capture that?
That answers my question, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. The resources we capture is the resources we need. For instance, maybe some people are still confused about this. I will give you an instance again. Okay. Let's see here. We go back to resources, and then we say bag of sand. That is the resource name. Okay. And then now we've come to type of resources. We say material. Are you getting it? Have I captured resources here?
Yes, sir.
Then how much is a bag of cement? You can quantify the bag of cement. A bag of sand. We can say a bag of sand is 12 let's say $10, and Yeah, we've captured it. You see here is not per hour again. Are you seeing this? You see that it's $10, but it's not per hour.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you getting it?
Yes, sir.
It's not per hour, it's not per hour because it's material, it's not human. But if I change this, if I select human resources here, for instance, I say work, you see it will change to hour. But because it's material, if I select material, so this is how you use it to select different, you can use it to, if it's software, for instance, if we say, because it's, but we've not gone to the stage of implementing a software. If it's software implementation, we're implementing a software, we can say cost of the cost of B365 CRM license. You know, this is the material we're going to use, and you can say the cost is let's say $100 and the materials. We've captured material resources here, but in our work breakdown structure, we cannot assign it because we don't have need for that. If we go to our tags, if you go to our tags here, you see it. Is there any place we can assign it? No place. You know, if we if we click on this, please, we are somebody. Mr. Sydney, you are disturbing the class. Mr. Sydney, I'm going to remove you. So, for your question, I think I've captured your question. Like now, let's say assign resources. Now, if we're assigning resources, you can see that this has, you know, is now showing as part of the resources, but you cannot assign it because we don't have any need for, in our activity here, there is no need for material use like software license here. So there is no need of capturing resources that is we don't need. It's not of no use. So you capture the resources you need. You don't capture resources you don't need. You don't plan for resources you don't need because you want to capture material resources. But if you have need for material resources, you capture material resources. So I think this is enough to get you a bit clear. So let's move back to, we'll have Binta.
Mr. Chasa, sorry, my mic had been bad. This is Mr. Sydney, and I don't know if you can hear me.
Is that why you've been disturbing the class?
Me? I've not been disturbing the class. My mic had been off.
Okay.
This is Irona Sydney. I have not been disturbing the class.
Okay, sir. Mr. or Mrs. Binta.
Good evening, sir.
All right.
Thank you for the class. I want to ask, please, how do we know the appropriate software to use in project management? Because there are a variety of tools out there. So how do we choose the right one.
What do you mean appropriate software? As in how?
There are so many. There's
As
ClickUp.
in regards this
Google.
particular, is this part of what I've just demonstrated? Is part of our demo, our class for tonight?
I didn't get you, sir.
The question, are you asking the appropriate software? Are you asking the appropriate software for project planning and scheduling?
Yes, yes.
I've already shown you the project, the software we can use. Class, please, can somebody answer this question for me?
Project Libya.
Okay. You don't know the software we're using.
I know the software we are using, sir. You don't understand where I'm coming from. I want to know if we can use variety of different tools for maybe like say if you're working on a construction project, maybe this is the best tool to use for that. And probably if you're working on say an IT project, probably there's another software tool that is best for that. I just wanted to know. That's what I asked.
I said we can use projects, Microsoft projects, and that is the industrial standard, the best every company use. You can use it to plan your any project. When I say any project, and I say that it's paid, and because it's paid, we can't have, some of us cannot afford it. We can use Project Labor. And that's why after explaining Project Labor, we say, let's do it practical. So, are you still confused?
No, sir. That's fine.
If you learn this one first, and you don't know how to use it, good and fine. That's where you start having what you want to learn another one. Is there any particular project in software you are interested in that is confusing you, that you know this, I've talked about this, and if there's any other one, you let me be clear about what you want to achieve.
Well, we are still honing our skills. It's not like I'm an expert in any of them. We are still learning. It's a work in progress. So I just wanted to clarify if probably there are specific tools that are best for industry project management, stuff like that.
I've told you that we are going to come to tools in project management, and I say that because this is very important in project scheduling, let's talk about tools in project scheduling. And I've said that Microsoft project is #1 and is paid. And because it's paid, some of us cannot afford it. I've given you the best industrial standard, both paid and not paid. So if you can use these two, I don't think you are going to have issue as a project manager. Learn how to use these two. And if you learn how to use Project Labor, you've already learned how to use Microsoft project, because I said it's a clone of Microsoft project. It has everything Microsoft projects have got. Okay, let's move to Aya Mere Vicente.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Mine is not really a question. I just want to appeal that we should not be rude to one another. Let's learn the business of etiquette, especially in a meeting like this, so that we make the environment to be conducive and also not to intimidate anybody. It's just an appeal. Nobody have the monopoly of being rude. We are all here to learn. If someone is not catching up, I think when the facilitator is trying to put it right, we should learn from there. Thank you.
Okay, class, please note that you don't need to be rude, and that is the fact. And when you are being rude on any of your teammates, it can be termed a cyberbullying, and I'm not gonna be part of that. So, but I don't know if anybody is bullied. Is just see that all of us are trying to help one another. So, if you are, if you feel that way, sorry, but what I see where everybody is trying to contribute, so we shouldn't sit class. We should always have that spirit of tolerance. Even if somebody didn't put it the way it's supposed to be, let us not be so sensitive and try to. I try to tolerate a lot, you know. So I don't know. I'm not other people, but it will help us to move on than holding grudges because someone accidentally click a laughing emoji when you are trying to ask a question. If you laugh at me, I'll laugh at you back, and everybody will start laughing, and it becomes fun. So, but that is taken into recognition. Everybody is not Mr. Charles anyway. So we move to Sydney Goslove.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Charles. Thank you very much. I think you can hear me now.
Sure.
Okay. My question is very straight. I'm grateful for the classes you've been rendering to us all this while. My question is very straight because I've not used this project Libra before, but I look as if the way I was taught to use Primavera is different from what you did, because you didn't consider the calendar of the projects, which is the first thing. Which was the first thing.
This is a different software. This is not Primavera. I said this is Project Libre, and a Project Libre is a clone of Microsoft project. Primavera is an Oracle product. They have their own way. And
no, the point I was trying to make is, were you using the default calendar?
Did you see default calendar there?
Because there must be a calendar controlling the project.
They don't have it. They don't have it. It's not compulsory to have a calendar in a project. There's other things that you see the dates there. You don't need calendar. You have a date. You click and you select your date. That is their own calendar. They must not be, their software must not be like Primavera. That is why it's different projects. And some people prefer it that simple or this way. That's why a lot of people are going for Microsoft project instead of Primavera. So you cannot expect what you are trying to say is like you expect TikTok to be like Facebook. They are all social media platforms. They have their own unique ways. So you can't expect everything you see in the other way. And every of them are claiming that their own is the best. It's left for the industry to talk about which one is the best. And Primavera has not been, I know about Primavera, I don't use Primavera, I don't teach Primavera because it's not an industrial, people use it, but how many people use it in the industry? So these are the things we look at, Almost everybody, almost every company uses Microsoft projects. Almost every freelancers working as project managers start from Project Libre. You have to start saving costs. Startups use Project Libre to save their costs. So I appreciate the fact you already know how to use Primavera. But industrial standard is Microsoft project is #1. I'm not gonna teach you every software in the market. All I need to do here is to get you started.
Okay, I wanted to be clear of that. Thank you for that. And my second question goes for, it's not a question, it's a kind of it's a question too, because it was a confusion during the class. You know, what that number
What is
eight,
that?
number 8 item they were telling you that it didn't link up. You know, is it a WBS or what?
WBS.
Yes, is it a work breakdown
Okay.
structure?
It's not a
Because
work breakdown structure. It is a phase.
Okay.
In a project. We call it project phase. And I said we are not capturing it because it's not a task. You see, we are planning our tasks. We are scheduling our tasks. We are not scheduling phases. That's why we didn't capture it. And when I was trying to address it, everybody seems to say, I asked, is everybody clear? And everybody say you should have said you are not clear that time, but it's still okay if
My mic was bad.
if you want us to go back.
No, my mic was bad then. My microphone was bad.
Okay. Are you clear now? You still
Yes,
want us to go back and clarify?
No, I'm clear. I'm clear.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Predecessors attacks. So what you look at, what is the last task? What should stop before this task can start? And that is what you work on. Not and that is how it works. And I think let's like everybody to be on the same page, because maybe some people will say because don't want, everybody should be clear about this, because this is what making you a project manager. So like here, you see, I said you're looking at this place. Number 8 is the stage. Number 1 is a stage. This is the first stage of this project, and this is the second stage of this project. And we are planning about all the activities under these stages. All these activities, what we call tasks. So why we jump this number 8? Because number 8 is not a stage, is not a task, is a stage. And we want to find out what is the predecessor of number 9, which is market research. We have to finish initial requirement gathering before we start market research, according to this work breakdown structure. And the predecessor is number 7. So if we are trying to understand the predecessor of number 9, it should be number 7, number 8, because number 8 is not a task, it's a phase or it's a stage in a project, and that's why we put it here. So that is it. So yeah, so try to make sure everybody is in the same page. So and like I told you guys, I'm not hurrying because I don't have a class tonight. So you take advantage of that to understand everything we are doing tonight very well. So, and that's it. I don't think there's anything we are missing here. And the only other thing here is, let's say, this network. This network is what we call the critical parts. You see it, the stages, you know, so as the way everything is kind of here. So you see the sequence, that is how this work should be done. So that is where all these, you see it, these are various tasks. See the sequence here. Each one, every of them this one need to finish before you start this one. This one needs to finish before you start. This one needs to finish before you start this one. And that is it. So if you miss, this one is 2 days. If you miss these 2 days and do this in 3 days, it's going to affect when you are going to start this one. And it's going to be difficult because this is already scheduled to start at this particular date and finish at this particular date. And they are maybe waiting for you, maybe part of the report you are generating from this initial requirement gathering is what that is going to be used for this market research. So if you miss this, this is scheduled to be 2 days, and they're already waiting for you. There might be different people doing this job. This person is already waiting for you to finish so that you can use some of your report to do his own job. So if you miss these 2 days, he's already delayed his own, pushing his own, so trying to disorganize everything here. And maybe he have agreed that after these 2 days, we finish 2 days, maybe he can go on holiday or do other things. So now if you are missing these 2 days, you're already disrupting the activities, this sequence of activities. And that's why we call it critical path areas. All these areas in red color, you have to be careful. You treat with caution, not to miss any date. So because if you miss any date, it's going to bring more cost and it's going to cause a lot of confusion that need to be attended to. So, and then at times you see project managers being very, very anxious about deliverable. Have you done your work? Why have you not done this? Some people will feel they are rude. They are just, but they know why they are crying, because they don't want to incur additional costs. They already know the budget. Some of us working in a project as a BAs or as developers, we don't know the budgets here. The project manager knows the budget, and when the project manager is crying, he'll be like, he doesn't like you. He just always, picking on him. No, they are crying because of the budget. And everything goes wrong, they are accountable. They will have to hold them responsible for any deviation or something like that. So I think let's just get started and start building. And eventually, like I say, I encourage you people to play around. By the time you start playing around, you start getting, don't get scared of the software. It's already your own. If you download it or it's your own, nobody is going to come and ask you bring it back or you did not pay the license. It's free. And like I said, it's very, very valid in the industry. I don't teach there's a lot of things I don't teach. I don't teach what is not, I look at the market trend, what the market is looking, and that is my pattern of teaching. If you are not comfortable with that, that is the way I do, because I'm looking at what is the market, what will help you to hit the market. That is the main important thing, and that is the problems the market has been having, because some people will base everything they are doing here. This is the way it has been. This is the way we have been doing it. And the way we have been doing it maybe has not been working. We need to change and look at what the market is looking at. So, and we have Blessing waiting. Sorry, Blessing, we kept you waiting. Okay.
Good evening, Mr. Charles.
All right, Blessing.
I'm so inspired by the way you teach us, and I'm grateful to be in this class. Okay. Some of the questions that I wanted to ask has been answered, and I also want to say this class is a bit too long. I'm having diminishing returns. I don't know if maybe next time let's not make it too long like this. I don't know if I'm speaking the mind of others. Thank you.
Only you work out. Listen.
Okay.
I follow.
Okay, but the class is not long, but I have to take time to answer to people's question. Should I have ignored people's question? Is that class I'm asking? In order to make a class 1 hour class and we'll have 10 people raising their hands for me to address them, should we ignore the people raising their hands in order to make our class short?
No.
That
those people asking
they are
questions
cool
is
with
part
you,
of the
sir.
learning.
They are cool.
Because their question will also help us.
No,
Maybe
they
we
should
not speak
ask their
what is
questions on the group.
please.
Which group?
The WhatsApp
So
group,
if
please.
the question they are going to ask in the group, I will still be the person to answer the question. So
Because we have other
if I
classes.
can answer the question using a live demonstration, is it not better? So
It's more
which I
better.
think is, if the class
It's
becomes too
better.
long, let me tell you, if the class becomes too long, all you need to do is leave. And then you can go and watch the video to catch up from the one you missed. But we are not going to do everything you want, in as much as I respect people's opinion, but we have standard. Some class need to even be 3 hours. If a class need to be 3 hours in order to give you the quality content we did, we can do it. And some class don't need to be broken down into 2. You know, like this project plan. I finished project planning and I say next week we come back. Okay, let's start doing the scheduling and start adding the cost. You can't do that. Are you getting me? So that is the way it should be. If you feel that a class is too long, I should be the one complaining, not you.
So the class is very okay. If they are tired, they can go. You can even take it to 10 to 11.
I should be the one complaining, not you. Your own is relaxing and asking questions, and I'll be explaining, and they are complaining. All right. Think everybody is fine, and if I take a question from you, Ekene, I will not take a question from anybody again.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Okay.
Please, my one is not that long. It's just for you to explain that work of processor again. That's the only thing. The thing is just being confused. You mentioned of it now, but I just want to
explain what.
No, you know that you mentioned it. I mean, that processor is a guideline that after each one you followed up. I just want to know because there's how the thing just recalling in my memory. I want to be clear.
Work then we're not going back to that predecessors. You know, I think all you need to do is read up and come back. Maybe you can, or somebody we've explained this work, these predecessors. Okay, Ekene, you are my brother, and I'm Ekene as well. What the predecessors is, what do you need to do before you start another work? Let's use 7 days in a week. The first week is Monday. Can we spend Tuesday without Monday? No. So Monday is a predecessor to Tuesday, and simple. And
okay.
Yeah, So if you have a copy of the work breakdown structure we shared, do you have a copy?
Yes.
So you look at all the things, activities we have there. Everything we schedule it is the way it should be. You must finish number 1 before you do number 2. You must finish number 2 before you do number 3. And that is the way the sequence goes. And that is what we call predecessors.
Thank you very much.
So, but if you are still struggling, you see some people already agitated that the class is too long, you can call me later. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
No worries. All right, guys. I have to leave you people to go. And who is laughing? I see somebody laughing. That is bullying.
So I want to change my name to Keneo so that I can be calling you too.
And me too.
Okay, why some of you are today laughing?
Thank you.
I'm
Thank you,
struggling.
Thank you, sir. So the class is so short. It's very okay. It's
Thank you so
commendable.
much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. Well done.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for this.
Good night.